Story 1. Am I in the wrong calling out my girlfriend for taking food? My girlfriend is a French fry bandit. Every single time we go out to eat, she ends up taking about half of my fries without fail. If I order a burger and fries, I already know before the food even gets to the table that a good portion of those fries are going to disappear onto her plate. The thing is, French fries are one of my favorite foods. I know I have the palate of a child, but I genuinely love them. The funny part is that I always ask her if she wants fries of her own. Every single time she says no. Without fail, though, once my fries arrive, she starts reaching over and helping herself to mine. It's become such a predictable routine that I expect it every time we eat out. Recently, we went out for dinner. I decided to order steak fries because I was really craving it, and she ordered a salad. I had a rough day, was pretty hungry, and honestly wasn't in the best mood. Before we ordered, I asked her one more time if she wanted fries with her salad. She looked at me and said no. When the server came over, I ordered my steak fries, her salad, and an extra side of fries. She immediately said, "I told you I didn't want fries." I simply replied that I wanted some extra fries and we moved on. When the food arrived, I slid the extra basket of fries over to her. She looked annoyed and said again that she didn't want them. I shrugged and said, "That's fine, I'll eat them." As dinner went on, something completely predictable happened. She started eating the extra fries. By the end of the meal, she had eaten almost the entire basket, even though I had originally planned on eating them myself after finishing my steak. On the drive home, she told me I was being rude because ordering fries after she had already said no was condescending, and made it seem like I thought I knew what she wanted better than she did. Here's what confuses me. She did want the fries. She ate almost the entire basket. We've been together for over a year, and this happens literally every single time we go out. I wasn't trying to make fun of her or prove a point. I was just trying to make sure I actually got to eat the fries that came with my meal without having to share half of them. So now I'm wondering, was I actually in the wrong for ordering the extra fries? Or was I just planning ahead based on a pattern that's happened every single time we've eaten together? Story 2. Am I in the wrong? Ex-girlfriend cheated. I'm a 23-year-old guy and my ex-girlfriend is 23. We had been together for about 2 years. A few weeks ago, she went to a Halloween party. I had no idea anything happened until one of my close friends, who was also at the party, told me he saw her making out with another guy. He also saw them leave the party together. She never told me any of this herself. After my friend told me what he saw, I confronted her the next day. She immediately started crying and admitted that she had gone home with the guy. After hearing that, I ended the relationship. Since then, it's become obvious to people that we broke up. Over the past few weeks, I've had messages from both our friends, our parents, and even people we know asking what happened. Her boss also lives next door to me, and one day while I was outside doing yard work, they asked where she was and why we weren't together anymore. Whenever someone has asked me what happened, I've simply told them the truth. I haven't gone out of my way to tell people or try to embarrass her. I only answered when I was asked. Most people have been shocked because this kind of behavior seemed completely out of character for her. Today, she contacted me and was furious. She accused me of telling everyone our private business and said I was trying to make her look bad. She was especially upset that her parents and her boss found out, but I explained that they were the ones who asked me directly. I didn't want to lie or make up a story, so I told them the truth. I also told her that if she's embarrassed by what people think, that's a consequence of her own actions. She called me a huge asshole and a douche, and then said she'd contacted the police about it for some reason. That left me completely confused because all I've done is answer people's questions honestly about why the relationship ended. My girlfriend and I have been together for the past 3 years. We have a monthly date night every Friday, and we take turns planning it. The problem is that after 3 years, I'm starting to run out of ideas. I was brainstorming out loud for our next date night, throwing random ideas around. At one point I said, "We could rent bike if that's okay with you." She looked confused and asked, "Why wouldn't that be okay with me?" Without really thinking, I replied, "Because you can't ride a bike." I honestly didn't have a good reason. I just said, "I don't know, you just look like someone who wouldn't know how to ride a bike." That comment completely changed the mood. She got really upset, and we ended up arguing for the rest of the night. Apparently, what I said came across as really rude and insulting, but I genuinely wasn't trying to be mean. I wasn't making fun of her. I just always had this weird assumption in my head that she couldn't ride a bike. I don't even know why. The only way I can explain it is that she gives off the same kind of vibe as iPhone face. Except instead of looking like someone who's never used anything but an iPhone, she looks like someone who's never learned to ride a bike. It doesn't make logical sense, but that's honestly what I meant. The argument got bad enough that she stayed at her friend's house for the next 2 days. She's refusing to talk to me until I apologize. The thing is, I don't really understand why she's so offended. I wasn't trying to insult her or call her names. I just said she looked like someone who wouldn't know how to ride a bike. I know it sounds ridiculous, but that's genuinely what I thought. Since she does know how to ride a bike, I don't understand why she'd be so upset over my assumption about how she looks. Am I missing something here? Do I actually owe her an apology? Story 4, Am I in the Wrong? Told my family to cancel our vacation. Every year my family goes on some kind of vacation. This year, though, has been especially stressful because money has become an issue. Of course, my dad didn't want to tell me and my sister that finances were a problem. The original plan was to go on a trip from Wednesday through Monday. We were supposed to spend the first part of the trip at King's Dominion, Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, and Williamsburg itself, then spend the last 2 days at the beach. Apparently, because of everything that's happened, my parents are now talking about shortening the vacation. That would basically mean cutting the beach out of the trip entirely. Honestly, I would have been completely fine if they had just told us from the beginning that we were only doing the theme parks. A lot has happened recently. My dad had to get a new car after totaling his old one, and my grandpa ended up in the hospital. For context, my grandpa is okay. He's just older and fractured his jaw. He's not dying or anything serious like that. What frustrates me is that my dad totaled his car before planning the trip, and still insisted that the full vacation would work. I've been dealing with really bad anxiety lately, and I was looking forward to the beach, because I feel like I need that time to relax before school starts. The hotels for the theme parks have already been booked, so we can't really skip the parks and just do the beach instead. I just wish he hadn't gotten my hopes up if there was a chance the plans would change. Another reason my dad wants to shorten the trip is because he's worried about my grandpa, which I don't really understand. He wants to leave a day or two early, even though there's a good chance my grandpa will be out of the hospital by Sunday. Because of all of that, I told my mom that maybe we just shouldn't go at all. If money is really that tight, canceling the trip would save a lot of money. I also said that if my dad spends the entire vacation stressed and worried, no one is going to have fun. When he's anxious, he gets cranky, yells a lot, and can honestly be kind of an asshole. That would make the trip miserable for everyone. The problem is that after I said maybe we should just cancel the trip, my 11-year-old sister started crying. I understand why. She's been looking forward to it too. Now I'm wondering if I was the one in the wrong for suggesting that maybe we shouldn't go at all. Story 5. Am I in the wrong taking my husband's things away? My husband is a collector with ADHD and has amassed a ton of junk that's taking up space in our basement. It's not hoarder status, we're not talking stuff to the ceiling with little paths between piles, but we have a 1,000 square foot finished basement, and his stuff takes up about half of it. I'd like to use that space as a gym or rec room. I love my husband dearly, but this situation has been really frustrating me for months. Last year, I gave him an ultimatum. Either the stuff gets seriously reduced within 6 months, or I remove it myself. He got really defensive, said I'd be throwing away history, and said that wasn't enough time to go through everything. That was months ago, and basically nothing has changed. He'll be gone this weekend, and I've already started making piles to donate or take to the dump while he's out. This includes several big bins of VCRs and DVDs, 2 old broken bikes he's never used or tried to fix, old stereo equipment from the 90s that's probably broken, a bin of old work uniforms, and some snowboarding gear. He hasn't snowboarded in about 25 years. I honestly don't think he'll even notice it's gone. To be clear, this is after months of asking him. I'm frustrated because we just bought this house, and it's as much my space as it is his, but his stuff is taking over the basement. I'd love a small home gym, a place for our son to hang out with friends when he's older, and maybe a guest bed. Right now, I go downstairs and just feel anxious. I set my limit last year and it got ignored, so I feel like if anything is going to change, I'll have to do it myself. If he does notice, he'll probably be really upset and say I threw away memories. He gets very nostalgic about his stuff when he actually acknowledges it, so I could see him being angry or resentful. I'd also feel bad if he's genuinely sad about losing his things. Okay, I get the message. I'd be a huge jerk if I dumped his stuff without going through it with him. Understood. I'll take him downstairs and try to get him to go through the piles with me every night until we've cleared some of it. A little more context for everyone saying he should divorce me. 1. We both have ADHD. I've had my diagnosis longer than he has. I see a therapist, take medication, and have worked hard to understand it. I watch videos and use online resources to manage it. He hasn't really done anything yet to manage his ADHD. 2. We've had many conversations about his stuff. This isn't something I decided overnight. We've been married 10 years, and he's always known excessive clutter bothers me. The ultimatum came after lots of calm, understanding conversations. 3. He has his own office, and our 2-car garage is mostly his space too. One of his 2 project cars is in there while mine stays outside. I'm not trying to erase his hobbies or make him get rid of everything. I just want to reclaim the 500 square feet of basement space that's been untouched for years so it can become a shared family area. 4. Lastly, I really do love my husband. He's my favorite person in the world, and we have a happy marriage. This isn't the only part of our relationship, but it's still a real problem. I'm allowed to be frustrated when it affects my happiness, just like he's allowed to be upset with me. And yes, I understand he absolutely would be if I got rid of his stuff while he was gone. After reading the responses, I understand his resistance means we need to keep working on this together instead of me handling it on my own. So guys, what do y'all think? Are these people in the wrong? Let me know in the comments. Also, tell me if you want more videos like this.